The Fox 61 News at 6 starts now.
Okay, the good news is that the weather impact alert is over, but the damage from today's rain and wind still very much around. We're talking widespread power outages, even school bus delays across the state. These pictures you're looking at are from Colchester, where a tree fell on top of some wires on Smith Street. And take a look at Norwalk earlier today. Well, this gave a new meaning to the name Water Street, which is exactly where it happened. Thank you for joining us here for the Fox 61 News at 6. I'm Tim Lammers. Now, at its peak, between Eversource and United Illuminating, close to 60,000 customers were without power this afternoon, about 4% of the total number of customers. Right now, though, there is progress. We're looking at about 36,000 Eversource customers in the dark, another 1,000 UI customers. Killingly, Chester are some of the hardest hit towns right now. By the way, Chester, 2/3 of that town does not have power. Eversource said it's out there working to restore power and clear hazards. They just want you to, if you're driving, watch out for any downed wires. Don't drive over them. That being said, a lot of families have not been able to avoid the damage around them. Let's get out to Fox 61's Celine Arif. She takes us live now to Plainville. Celine, we've been following reports of a downed tree. I know you said that it looked pretty bad. Couldn't get much closer, but what else can you show us now?
Yeah, good evening. Well, I caught up with the owner earlier outside of his house here, and I am telling you, he is absolutely devastated. This is just days before Christmas. He's got a big family. He's got 3 teenagers who live here who now have to relocate for the night, him and the entire family, because it is not safe to sleep here tonight. If you walk over here with me, you can see that not only did the tree hit their house, but it also completely damaged one of their cars and then also damaged this other one here. And the owner told me they've lived here for 5 years. They've never had any issues like this. Normally when it would get windy, they would get maybe some fallen leaves, maybe, you know, a stick or two like this that you see here on the ground, but there are so many more sticks out here. This is a huge tree. You can really tell just by looking from the trunk and the roots of it. This was absolutely devastating to the family. And the owner told me he was in the living room when the tree did hit. He said it sounded like just a big TV crashing on the floor, really loud, very jarring, obviously very scary. And he did tell me that the fire department did come out here earlier today, but they are going to keep the tree right there where it is for now. And we can't get much closer to show you the tree itself because it was sinking even lower down earlier, which is obviously very dangerous. For now, sending it back to you live in Plainville, Celine Arif, Fox 61.
Thank you, Celine. Even more damage. Take a look at what happened in Bridgeport today. City leaders say it was the winds that took out a portion of a wall and knocked over a utility pole, causing a power outage. Now, this was at the Warnaco building demolition site, so that's at least some comfort. People weren't necessarily put out of their way from the wall coming over, but thankfully nobody was hurt. But Gregory and Warren Streets are still closed right now for the cleanup, and so UI can come in and restore power. We'll let you know when those roads open back up. All right, bringing in meteorologist Sam Samperi. Obviously, more power outages than I was expecting. That's one thing. I feel so bad this close to Christmas and during Hanukkah for people who are having property damage because of this.
Especially, yeah, a week before Christmas, we had been so used to this. We were like in the ice box, and it's like everything loosened up. The whole earth loosened up, and all these trees are falling left and right.
Yeah.
Part of the reason why a little bit more power outages than usual. But at any rate, now we're going backwards. First of all, we had wind peaking up to 65, near 70 miles per hour. I'll go through that later in the newscast. Now we've been dealing with strong to severe thunderstorm warnings cutting across Connecticut and even a couple of new lightning strikes down here in New London County. And now we're changing over to snow. So what a wild day. And yeah, it's been a bit since we've seen this, or I've seen this, especially a couple of lightning strikes. No severe warnings, all about the gusty winds. And that's why we did have a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings. In the last 30 minutes, only 2 lightning strikes. So that system continues to move off to the east. Meanwhile, we are changing over to some snow. put that into motion, we could get a little quick snow shower, a little snow band moving through, and then it clears out overnight. A wind advisory, though, has been extended till at least 7 o'clock tomorrow morning, 45 to 55 mile per hour wind gusts, and you see starting to pick up 30 to 35, sustained to 15 to 20. Here it is in the 30s where it's snowing. Coming up, I will detail what you can expect through the weekend. Tim?
All right, Sam, thank you. Well, we got developing news in the Brown University shooting and the investigation into the suspect. We know that suspect was found dead in New Hampshire last night, but just a little more than an hour ago, we found out that police said he died about 2 days before he was found and that he took his own life. So that would be on Tuesday. And the man is also suspected of killing a professor at MIT outside of Boston a day before that on Monday. Now, Fox 61's Alicia Hercules has been following the developments in Providence all week. She joins us now live at Brown University in Providence, Rhode Island. She's got more information on this suspected shooter and how investigators eventually found him one state away in New Hampshire. Alicia.
Tim, police say 48-year-old Claudio Neves Valenti used to be a grad student here. Aside from that connection, investigators say they don't exactly know what his motive was for his crimes.
We got him.
FBI Special Agent Ted Box and other investigators believe Valenti is responsible for the Brown University shooting that killed 2 students and hurt 9. Brown University President Christina Paxson says Valenti attended the school from the fall of 2000 to the spring of 2001.
This man, when he was a student, spent a great deal of time in that building for classes and other activities as a PhD student in physics. He has no current active affiliation with the university or campus presence.
They also believe he killed Nuno F.G. Luriero, an MIT professor. He was found dead at his home in Boston 2 days after the Brown shooting. Valenti and Luriero graduated from the same physics program from an engineering school in Portugal. Rhode Island Attorney General Peter Nerona credits a tipster for helping them find Valenti.
And that person led us to the car, which led us to the name, which led us to the photographs of that individual renting the car, which matched the clothing of our shooter here in Providence.
The tipster turned out to be the person investigators identified earlier this week as someone they wanted to speak with. According to an affidavit, the tipster said he first encountered Valenti inside a bathroom in the Barris and Holly building. He described Valenti's clothes as inappropriate for the weather and his skin as weathered. They had several interactions with each other the day of the shooting. He later observed Valenti approaching a gray car with Florida license plates. Providence Police Chief Oscar Perez says this information was crucial to the investigation.
A vehicle was picked up by Flock, which led us to a car rental place in Massachusetts. Through that, the agents and their work as well were able to get us footage of this individual, as well as a copy of the agreement which provided his real name.
Valenti returned to Massachusetts after the shooting. That's when police say he killed Luriero. He switched license plates on his rental car and then traveled to a Salem, New Hampshire storage building. Investigators found his body there last night, along with 2 guns. The Attorney General hopes the conclusion of this manhunt brings some form of peace to the victims and their families.
But I hope that by bringing this person to justice, that we can at least give them the beginnings of some measure of closure.
Investigators say although the manhunt is over, their case is still open. They want to know what led to both shootings to bring closure to the victims and their families. Live in Providence, Alicia Hercules, Fox 61.
Alicia, thank you. The Inspector General's office ruled that 2 police officers were justified in shooting and killing a man in New Haven earlier this year. Detective Martin Scanlon and Sergeant Joseph Reel were shot while trying to, or actually, they were shot at. Reel was hit, Scanlon was not, while trying to serve a warrant on January 29th. Body cam video showed officers in Aaron Freeman's apartment ordering him to show his hands, but Freeman instead fired several shots at them. Now, we said Officer Reel was shot in the leg, so was West Haven officer Robert Rappa. Detective Scanlon's body camera shows him taking shelter in a nearby stairwell and exchanging gunfire. And then, as we said, as Sergeant Reel moved towards Freeman's bedroom, that's when he was shot in the leg as well. Reel fired back and retreated Eventually, officials went into the room where Freeman was hiding and found that he was dead. The Inspector General ruled that the officers were valid in believing that Freeman tried to kill or seriously hurt them, being that he did shoot 2 of them. Therefore, it was justified that they used deadly force to protect themselves. The OIG's report said the case is now closed. Well, not only are Mimi Torres Garcia's mother and her mother's boyfriend facing murder charges in her death, they've also now been both accused of lying to the state to keep getting SNAP benefits. According to their arrest warrants, Carla Garcia never told the state that Mimi had died, even though she had reported some other changes, like moving and saying another baby was on the way. As for her then boyfriend, Jonathan Nanita, the state accused him of lying about being homeless when they said he was actually staying with Garcia. The state said the 2 of them shared their EBT cards with each other, which is also illegal. And they said Nanita got more than $2,800 in improper benefits. So they have both been charged now with theft and with making false statements. Well, there's a new effort to put money back into New Haven's neighborhoods. City leaders say it's all about encouraging businesses and institutions themselves to shop local. Fox 61's Jamel Johnson shares how this would benefit businesses big and small.
City leaders and community members just launched a project they've been working on for a while. It's called the Buy New Haven Initiative. Its goal is to make it easier for organizations and businesses to purchase local goods and services. As part of the launch, the Center for Inclusive Growth is encouraging sales of local art. The team put together a document that outlines strategies on how to find artists in the city and shop with them. It shares art spaces like the City Gallery, Eli Center of Contemporary Art, and the Keller Little Gallery. The leaders of Inclusive Growth say they started the initiative with art because they believe local artists have a large influence in the city and it can be hard for them to find their footing financially. New Haven artist Jasmine Nicole has already benefited from this initiative.
Building the relationships with the businesses and organizations has helped me sustain my business practice tremendously. But the biggest benefit is seeing my artwork kind of live beyond me. It has really deepened my purpose, healing the community.
Mayor Justin Elicker says Buy New Haven will help the city maximize its economic development.
When you spend $1 on a local entrepreneur, on a local business, on a local person, the majority of that dollar stays in New Haven, right? You go and spend your $1 at Walmart or Target, most of that money goes outside the city, right? But if you spend money locally, that person is more likely to hire local people, is more likely to use that dollar to support other local businesses. So
now, this was a hard launch for Buy New Haven, but as the initiative says, its goal is for all local businesses to benefit. That's why in the coming months, there will be a soft rollout of toolkits, workshops, and even a local vendor database to take advantage of. In New Haven, Jamel Johnson, Fox 61.